Hi and welcome back to our channel. So today we decided to go to the Bushes Museum, which is located in Chestnut Hill, Tennessee. It took us about 40 minutes to get here from Dolly's Dreamwear Resort. Looks like their hours are 9 to 4 for the general store and the museum, and the cafe is 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is a free museum, and actually just driving up to it, I was pretty impressed. I don't know what I was thinking it was going to be like, but it looks pretty cool. Me personally, I don't like beans at all. He likes beans a lot. So he's the reason why we are here today. So we're going to take you along, and hopefully you like everything that you see. Very cool out here.
Got a couple of them. All right, look and see if they turned out.
That's fine. Appreciate it. Can't hardly see anything else.
I'm just taking his pictures.
You gotta take a better picture of me.
Weather today is beautiful. It's probably around 80 degrees. It's gorgeous. Hello.
How are you out?
Good, how are you?
Fine. Y'all been in before?
No.
Well, thank you for coming. Where you from?
Tampa.
Tampa, Florida.
Yeah.
My dad and mom used to have a house in there, so I know where that's at. But let you come in. We do have a free museum if you want to watch it and take pictures of it. 4 of the videos, 5 minutes each, tells you about the family and the business, the history sort of it. And then in the theater, there's a video, 15 minutes or longer, about what goes on inside the plant, takes you some things in there, and shows you how the beans are cooked.
Nice.
And if you go all the way through, you'll come out right back down here to the clock. They have one restroom upstairs in the museum, and we have restrooms here.
Okay.
And the cafe opened at 11 if y'all are interested in eating.
Nice. We are. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Anybody in a blue shirt can help you if you have questions. I'll let you know.
During birth, death, sickness, tragedy, and trouble, Sally was always there.
She was easygoing, never seemed to be in a hurry, but everything was done. To describe her, I just loved her. She just was a warm, giving person, and it's always so dear to me.
Jean's mother, Amy, was very ill with TB. Jean was a baby, and they had moved to Arizona, and he worked in a grocery store to support them, and was trying to take care of a baby and a sick wife. And so Grandmother Bush came out there to help him, and this just floored me because I thought Grandmother was quiet and kind of reserved, and she had boarded the train and had gone by herself on the train to Arizona to take care of the daughter-in-law and the baby.
Together, AJ and Sally raised 4 boys and 2 girls, Fred, Claude, Alger, Francis, Bernadette, and Lena Mae. They lived in the family home, which was built in 1909. Look familiar? It's actually still standing right across the street from where you are now. The home was an extension of AJ and Sally's hearts, and for the 6 Bush children, it provided backdrop for a childhood filled with love and more than a little bit of mischief.
There's another story, and I don't know if anyone's told this one, but it's my favorite. When they were in elementary school, Daddy got to fight with somebody else, and he was getting bush studies. He was on the ground, and the other boy was on top of him. And that lady jumped on his back, grabbed him by the hair, and said, "That's my brother. Stop it."
In 1897, AJ opened his original general store, as much a community center as it was a store. AJ Bush and Company General Merchandise offered a range of items the family at the time could grow provisions and stuff. Cash was scarce, so it was common to food like eggs, chicken, bread, the larger
No, I don't know. They're trying. Yeah. Well, I don't check.
humble beginnings, AJ and Sally and the shape of people, everything is smart, and their strong sense of character and value will guide every step. As a northerner, he brought his own style. And he was a hard worker and proved to be a brilliant businessman.
My daddy was
from the state of cheese. And he graduated as a civil engineer from District Tech. And only 2 years got a job out as regulating plant at the plant, which brought him to Knoxville, Tennessee with TV. In the summertime, they worked night and day. And you would hear the cans ringing. It was like, because our windows were open, it was kind of back down in the city. It went on all the time. We lived right in the campus. When those cans stopped, it was nighttime. We woke up. We heard them stop, or we heard the laugh of cans running. And Daddy would get up and get dressed and go down to see what was going on. And so many days he came home to work with them at night, and he had a
In 1962, fresh out of college, CJ's nephew, Claude's son, Honda business in Augusta, Wisconsin, to run a plant that had been sitting idle. Over the next several years, he oversaw the rehabilitation and construction of the facility and its return to operation. The plant was canning fresh peas, but it encountered challenges ranging from growing conditions to consumer taste. By 1969, it became clear to Condon that something had to be done, or we would have to close the Augusta plant. That something would transform the bean into something beautiful and become the bedrock of our business.
In the late 60s, the Augusta plant was in trouble. The plant was only equipped to can green peas and dry bean products, so I began to think a lot about beans. We looked at the market and found that there wasn't a single baked bean product that tasted good.
Condon said we have got to have a value-added product, something that will bring in money around the clock, not just seasonal. And so that was why
And my mother was an excellent cook. My cousin still had fond memories of Sunday dinner.
the reason for that to start, and it happened on the games, and it happened to them.
An organization that has grown has made many changes over the years. And third, Chestnut Hill is the focal point of a community of companions. 4 generations of people working together to build this company to what it is today. Family, community, and 4 generations make Chestnut Hill special to me and the Bush family and to Bush Brothers and Company. I welcome you to my home, our home, Chestnut Hill.
Hi, and welcome to Bush Brothers and Company. You know, as people learn all about our story, there's one question we get asked all the time. How are Bush's baked beans made? Well, the short answer is with all natural ingredients, advanced technologies, a commitment to quality, and a passion for all things beans. But the full answer, well, that's what this video is for. And spoiler alert, I can't reveal the secret family recipe. But I can give you an inside look at how a humble, unassuming little bean becomes something big. So let's get to it. Roll that beautiful bean making footage.
Hey, isn't that my line?
Sorry, Jay. While we make baked beans right here in Chestnut Hill, the story starts hundreds of miles away, in places like North Dakota and Michigan, where the bulk of North American dry beans are grown. After this video, you can take a look at our bean map upstairs to learn more about where our beans come from. Anyway, Bush's uses tons and tons and tons of North American grown beans, and they arrive at our factory to become the perfect little starting points for our baked beans.
Sometimes we receive the beans here in a 1-ton post sack and we store them here in the warehouse.
Since the beans come to us dry, we have to get them back to the plump, tender texture we all know and love. And that's where the soak process comes in. The beans are transported along the shaker conveyor and into our soak tank. Each tank holds about 7,000 pounds of dry beans. The soak tank's job is to rehydrate the beans, which causes them to nearly double in size. The newly plump and tender beans drop down and out of the bottom of the tank and go through a series of processes where they're washed and cleaned. The next step is blanching. This process heats the beans, which allows them to take on the color and the flavor of the sauce. Speaking of which, now for the part that makes our beans so tasty. Of course, the details of our sauce are a family secret, despite Duke's best efforts to share them with the world. Well, we'll hit the highlights. Remember, we're talking baked beans here, but Bush's makes more than 120 products, including options no sugar, low sodium, organic, and more. There are so many ways to enjoy the goodness of beans. We use pure cane sugar and truckloads of pure molasses to make our own brown sugar right on site. And we still hand mix a lot of our spices, just like my cousin Connie Bush did back in the 60s, when he created Bush's baked beans from memories of his mother's cooking. Next comes a ton of tomato paste, literally. Paste goes into a hopper, then into a tank where it is mixed and thinned to the perfect consistency for each recipe. Then, when a sauce tank needs tomato paste, it will send a signal to a controller, and the paste will be pumped into mixed with the other ingredients. And all along the way, we measure and track every sauce recipe to ensure consistent quality. All right, so we've got our beans, we've got our sauce. Now they've got to come together to make something beautiful. So where do they meet? In the can. And it happens right here on the production. Before we keep going, a quick shout out to cans. They're incredibly safe, infinitely recyclable, and helpful in the fight against food waste. Later in your visit, look in the sustainability area upstairs for more on the benefits of canned goods. Okay, back to it. Most of our cans are made right up the road. They arrive on these cool roller bed trailers, and they're automatically unloaded, cleaned, and delivered to the production floor. For our original baked beans, the first ingredient to go into the can is bacon. You're welcome. We cut it into cubes, and then they get dropped in. By the way, here's a fun fact. Studies show that 98% of you really, really want that bacon in you, but 96% say you typically throw it away. So here's a friendly reminder. It's okay to eat that beautiful bean bacon. Now, it's time for the beans. The bean filler measures the contents required for each can. Cans come along underneath the filler, and the beans drop in. It can handle as many as 1,000 cans per minute. To get a good look, we need to, well, smooth that beautiful bean. Once the beans are in the can, they go through an overflow brine, where they're hit with a waterfall of sauce. If the beans and sauce together at last, let's put a lid on things. It's vital that each can is properly closed, creating an airtight seal to ensure quality and safety. The highest standards of quality have been a part of who we are since AJ started this business, and that hasn't changed. But the methods to ensure quality are a little more sophisticated than they were over a century ago.
We collect data on every single can size we have, flavor combination, the grilling beans that have vegetables in them, our bacon, all of those are different variables, and we need to make sure that our process makes it safe across the board.
Once sealed, the cans are washed to remove excess sauce. Then we turn them upside down so the beans and sauce are mixed together in perfect, beautiful bean harmony. Flipping the cans also positions them for a product code. That way, we can track every can to the minute it was produced, know everyone who worked on it, and where all the ingredients came from. Just another way we're able to ensure quality across our products. Now it's time to get cooking. At Bush's, that happens in a place you might not expect. Right, the can. We use a hydrostatic cooking process. We have 4 cookers that are 9 stories tall. You can see the tower sticking up at the end of our plant. The conveyor takes the cans to the top of the cooker where they enter a steam chamber. They move up and down as they travel through, and time and temperature control depend on the recipe. Like a lot of what we do, it's a state-of-the-art process, but it's based on good old-fashioned commitment to everything right.
Pressure cooking cans, like your grandmothers might have done on the stove at home, is exactly the same principles as we use, except on a massive scale. And not just your little pot that was on the stove, but they work exactly the same. And so if you remember eating vegetables canned by your grandparents, it's the same thing we do at Bush. We don't put in any extra preservatives. It is perfectly natural. You put in your beans, you put in your sauce, and then you just really heat treat it with pressure. Your grandmother wasn't putting in any extra preservatives to make those safe. And so that's what we do as well.
Another way we do things right is in the environment we create for employees. If you look around the production floor, you'll see large windows that let in plenty of natural light and provide our team with a view of the outdoors, no matter where they're working. This makes a big difference in the workday. It's not something you find in most manufacturing plants, but hey, Bush's isn't like most other manufacturers. Okay, back to the beans. Once the cooking's complete, the cans head down to the warehouse to price stack. That's a fancy way of saying they're shiny and laden beans. Our expert forklift operators stack them high until they're ready for the last step of the process, proudly showing that these beautiful beans are Bush's. Our high-tech label machine can label about 1,200 cans a minute. Here it is slowed down. The machine rolls the cans through and applies glue strips. Then it wraps it all up in a neat paper label. An electronic eye watches over the entire process. So if it spots any can, crooked or loose label, it'll kick that can out and send it back around to get relabeled. With the beans ready to roll, we have one final layer of quality control. Every day, on every shift, we open our quality lab where the beans undergo scientific testing and some good old-fashioned taste testing by people proven to have highly sensitive taste buds. With confidence in our product quality, we get ready to say goodbye to beautiful beans. Cans are packed into cases, shrink wrapped, palletized, and wrapped again. From there, they make their way onto the trucks, the supermarkets across the country, and ultimately, so there you have it. An inside look at how it all comes together. My great-grandparents' values and commitment to quality, my cousin Condon's dream of a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility, my family's passion for beans, and the amazing people of Bush's who put their hearts into this company every day. It's how the goodness that starts in a field brings joy into the lives of people everywhere. And to me, that's a beautiful thing.
For many reasons, Chestnut is very good.
Is that interesting?
Yeah.
Not always solve the problem.
Following the rise of Bush's baked beans and the transformation of our company, we set our sights on changing how Bush's are prepared. For nearly 85 years, we are involved. Now we're ready to take our company straight to the center, focus on the area where we all we just needed the right character to bring that story to life. I'll let Thomas say what I know. You might. Hey, Jim, keep running.
Check out these questions and answers. They're all the way from here. The monitors over there are interactive. You can take pictures. I'm supposed to play games. I'm standing in front of the arcade over there. Thank you. If you have any questions, let us know. Hello. How y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Y'all been here before?
No.
Check out the questions and answers all the way down through here. Monitors are interactive. Touch something, you're going to get something different. Over here, you touch a triangle, you get video. We do have videos.
and hot cocoa.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. How you doing, Maya?
Good, how are you? I have a chat.
Kind bean first, right?
I'm visiting from Johnson City, ETSU. I go to medical school. I'm here for a rural rotation. Rural medicine.
You've been learning about our roots here in Chestnut
I'm actually
and the birth of baked beans in Augusta. But did you know that the goodness of Bush's beans actually starts hundreds of miles from here?
Bean production is in the upper Midwest for the most part. North Dakota being the largest producing state. And then as you work your way toward the Great Lakes, we have Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and then as well there's product grown further to the west, Nebraska and Colorado, and a bit in California. But the main production is the center states of North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan.
Bush's sources the highest quality beans across North America and even Canada. And we're proud to work with a number of family farms, some of which share not only a business partnership with Bush's, but a little bit of history too.
My father started growing kidney beans in 1969, and Chippewa Valley bean wasn't even thought of yet. Actually, he brought his beans here to the plant in Augusta. He became good friends with Condon Bush. And growing up at the time, Condon used to travel to our farm, and he had a beautiful Corvette. He and my father would go out, and they would look at the fields, and they would count beans in the pod, and they would say, this is going to be a great crop. So really, Bush Brothers was instrumental in the reason why Chestnut exists.
That's my favorite.
Well, look online for bourbon, called the Bourbon Trail.
Okay. Good.
Chatting out next year, and then we'll have that out of the way.
Louisville has a lot of traffic. It's very, very urban. So, you know, getting out of that, they got these needs
And growing up at the time, Condon used to travel to our farm. And they had a beautiful Corvette. They would go out, look at the fields, and they would count beans in the pod, and this is going to be a great crop. But really, Bush Brothers was instrumental in the reason why Chippewa Valley bean exists.
They always get beans in there, and their salsa, and
Around here,
that's
beans are
hot cheese.
thanks for being a part of it.
We hope you enjoyed your visit. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks for taking time out of your day to see what we worked so hard at here at Bush's.
Thank you for visiting that beautiful green country.
So we just finished walking through the Bushes Museum, and then we also went ahead and had lunch at the Bushes Family Cafe. Not really sure what I was expecting, but the whole experience was way better than I expected. Just being able to watch the different videos on how they process baked beans was kind of cool, even though I don't care for beans at all. But the overall experience was really nice. The restaurant had an array of different types of food from, chicken tender platters, which is what I had. It came with 2 sides. I chose green beans and mac and cheese, and it also came with a biscuit. The chicken tenders were huge. I was only able to eat one, but I finished the biscuit and the green beans, and I had some of the mac and cheese. Bernie had a BLT, which had like 6 pieces of bacon on them. It was a beautiful sandwich, and he also had it with baked beans. They had sweet tea. And sweet tea, but they also had a lot of other stuff. They had Reubens, they had burgers, they had hot dogs, chicken sandwiches, salads, and then they had an array of different types of pies, ice cream sundaes, banana splits, milkshakes, etc. And it wasn't expensive to eat there either. I think we spent $37 or $33, something like that was our bill plus tip. So it was definitely on the less expensive side to dine there. But overall, it was a great experience. I would recommend it.
A beautiful drive to get out here, too.
Yeah, and the drive here was incredible. It was very scenic. It'll probably even be better going back to Pigeon Forge, simply because when we were driving over today, it was very hazy, but still extremely beautiful. Like, we were driving through some of these areas, and all I can think about was I could definitely live here, because these houses were gorgeous. And the property and the amount of lakes that you drove through with the mountains behind them, definitely beautiful. We would highly recommend coming here. And honestly, the museum maybe takes you an hour, and then they have a gift shop inside that has a lot of different stuff, from t-shirts to where you can actually purchase different types of Bush's beans. They also had dips, chips,
and Duke.
And they had Duke the dog, which I did by myself, Duke the dog, because he was adorable. And then they also had like some Christmas stuff, some ornaments, fall decor. And oh look, here's my Duke.
Show him the Duke on the back.
And then you got his little name there. He's super soft. And Duke was $22, but he was worth every bit of it, because I absolutely love stuffed animals. And when we go someplace and it's in someplace we've never been before, I do try to pick up some kind of a plush. I know, 55 years old and still buying my stuffed animals, but gotta have what you love. So if you like this content, please click the like and subscribe to our channel. We are trying to think of something to do where we can start generating more subscriptions. So please come back, and hopefully we'll get that figured out shortly. But again, if you have any comments, any questions, please leave a comment, and we will respond as soon as we can.